separated.
Hey! The man you're disrespecting me! Take him out!
You gotta keep them separated.
Hey! Don't pay no mind! We're under 18 and won't be doing anytime! Hey!
All right, what's going on, everybody? I am the one, the only, the WOOKIE. Joined here by the huge crew. We got Drazcor, the Choke Show.
Yo, yo. Let's go, guys.
I like it.
And I'll just say, I have been winning. So.
Oh, not against me, you haven't. Anyways, we got Ewok Jr.
Hello, Keyforge community.
and Sheep.
Hello.
Who's winning?
I'm defending my space dollars.
Defend
honorably.
them. Honorably. Defend those space dollars.
Does that mean you're using Sanctum? Is that what makes it honorable?
No, I am
Yes.
definitely not being honorable with Sanctum. I am disholding him right now.
Very good.
Not very honorable.
But either way, if you guys do hear a little bit of background noise, that is my air conditioner. It is hot in Wisconsin right now. I believe it got up to like 101 plus humidity today. My store lost power due to heat for 2 days in a row. So, yeah, woof. Wolf is right. Yeah, it's being shut down.
I will say that you most likely lost power more due to the high winds we've had.
Probably.
We've had quite a bit of storms. Actually, my wife's out for storm duty right now as engineer.
Is there a song that there seems like there should be a song that goes storm duty?
It's not really fun, but just coordinating because there's still a lot of
duty.
There's still a lot of individuals out. I would also send a shout out to anyone who happens to be over in the Yellowstone area because their flooding is absolutely incredible right now. If you have not seen, so Yellowstone Park, basically the whole northern loop is shut down. Flooding took out most of the road. That's your access point in and out.
All right.
Yeah, I did see the news on that. Sad.
I did not. This is the first I've heard about it, but
yeah, actually go ahead
crazy.
and take a peek. Most of you can see as it curves around, it wipes out the road in multiple spots. So I think they've now evacuated everyone, but they had 5 backcountry groups that were out camping.
Oh, I was going to say the Holder Outers.
Well, no, they just because you have to track down everyone. They evacuated 10,000 people from the park because this is their big season right now. So
weather's kind of crazy, but bunch of stuff to get into today. I don't know. You guys put a lot on this list, and I don't know if we're gonna get through all this.
After being like, what do we talk about?
Yeah, what do we talk about? And now we have like a filled list. And it's like our show, boys. Like,
you're welcome.
But we have the ABR wrap up. Ewok, talk us through ABR wrap up.
Well, our top 4 teams, we were able to fight it out to the death. Shape, she went down in a burning heap of glory. Tell us about your walk in the finals there. What happened, Sheep?
I showed up and lost quickly.
That was pretty much it.
Right? That was
riveting.
Yeah, it was not riveting. It's exactly what it was. Not riveting.
Yeah.
No, it was still pretty impressive because we do have, out of the 4 teams that were there, Coach, you want to go ahead and actually explain to us which teams made this, Mr. Drazcor? We had Brabble Rabble, Marcon's Revenge, Getting Floomfy with it.
And
the other team that made it.
Oh my goodness!
I like how he's like, Drazcor, tell us who made it, and then he just tells us.
Well, I'm waiting. Like, come on, this
Grand Hobo Council. There we go.
It was Grand Hobo.
I just pulled up the spreadsheet. I was like, I gotta open the spreadsheet.
I was trying to delay for him a little.
I was not prepared. That was great. Tell us who made it, Drazcor. Never mind. I got this.
Brett and Floofy with it had 50 points. Look at that. Marco's Ridge 49, Brabble Rebel 47, Grand Hobo 45. And congratulations overall to Getting Floofy, right? Who got it overall, right? I'm saying that right? They got the most playoff points.
So getting floofy with it,
No,
totally rock. There are ABR League 7 champs. Their playoff round for round 1, because you basically ended up playing 3 rounds for the playoff. For the playoffs, everyone came in. They had a different variants that they're essentially playing. And getting floofy with it, out of their 10 people they brought in, went 9-1 in that first round and just destroyed all of us. That's the short answer. So it was really cool to see, but congrats to getting floofy with it.
All right, the past is in the past, boys. Let's talk about the future. Okay. We got the, is it just being called ABR MM Sealed Extravaganza?
Yeah.
That's what we're called. That's the name? I wasn't sure if that was the name or if that's just something we made up. Just recently.
I mean, that's what the channel says in Discord.
I mean, we like to make up lots of things, so.
We do.
A highly descriptive name, but yes.
Anyways, signups do end on Sunday the 19th. We can officially let out our name. Me, Custodian, and Ewok. I did that ungrammatically.
Yeah,
it will be Custodian Wookwalk.
Custodian Wookwalk.
A.K.A. Team Dr. Drazray is the worst name ever.
I really wanted you guys to name your team that.
That's what you wanted the name to be?
Yes, that would have been hilarious.
Well, there's always next time.
Crushed you.
There's always next time.
Actually, I did think about going ahead and throwing in the name Team Bye. So it's BYE. And then whenever you face us, people just concede and we get wins that way. But
hey.
It's very devious.
What does Sheep say? If you ain't cheating, you ain't trying.
No.
That is correct.
It's like an old school wrestler that we used to know. But speaking of wrestlers, we got to say a big feel better to our boy Rickster. Big wrestling fan, that Rickster.
Yeah.
Him and I often talk wrestling in here. He's in the hospital right now, so send your good energy over to Rickster.
Yeah,
we feel better.
We miss you, bud. I know you don't have a computer there, but get well, return to some Keyforge, and a little help from future self in the future. But
I wonder if we could mail him a computer. Mail him a laptop. I'm sure they got Wi-Fi.
I'm sure, but I'm hoping he'll be out before then. So
yeah, absolutely. So get better, Rickster. We wish you the best. And then you guys got Kagi. Kagi 5. Has there been 5 seasons of Kagi already? Or is this the 5th iteration?
This is the 5th, so 5.0. So
was there like a 4.2?
No, they've just
add the 0.0.
2.0.
Okay,
Yeah.
I wasn't sure if this is the 5th iteration. Of
it sounds cooler when you say 0.0.
Richard
right?
Garfield intended Keyforge.
Wait. I think Sheep loves this best. So
No, that's a Patreon episode. It's too good. It's too good for the free show.
Fine.
All right, go ahead, Sheep.
Yep. What?
What's Kagi?
Kagi is Keyforge as Garfield intended, as they say it, which is what it is as its core. His quote is, "You should be able to find how to win with any deck, and chains are this tool to try to balance decks, and then you can try to get a win with whatever."
And how does that make
I
you
do
feel,
enjoy
Sheep?
adaptive. I don't play it a super huge amount. It is. I don't know if I mentioned this on the show, but I was kind of happy the other day because one of my buddies who I play with very casually, like he's never come on to the Discord to play there or anything like that. But he and I will just sort of throw decks down sometimes. Reach into my big old drawer of rando decks and just like throw some stuff down or throw sealed. But he was like, "Hey, you know what?
By drawer of random decks, you mean shredder pile?"
So I actually have a few different sections of my drawers here, right? So I've got these are the good decks,
clean and
the pretty
dirty.
good decks. You got it. And then I've got
those are the sections of my drawers. You walk.
Yeah, the smelly and not smelly.
Some come
not
with snacks.
as smelly. So yeah, like here's like the good decks, and then here's the decently good decks, but if you're a real top end player, you're probably not that interested in them, but they've got fun stuff and I enjoy them. They're pretty good. And then there's the sort of everything else except the real crap. and the real crap that is like actively bad, not
That's
quite
currently
reversal.
at the bottom of the litter pan. No.
Those get shoved away, and those I generally don't use, but will
Tinder.
often pull from one of those middle two categories, right? Like top half or bottom half, but not the absolute top or the absolute bottom, and we'll just throw decks down. Any case, he was like, hey, I want to try adaptive. I've never played adaptive before. So we did it. We did that top half section, and we just grabbed some decks. And I'm curious next time we hang out what his reflection will be on, because he said he enjoyed it at the time, but it was definitely one of these things where each time the deck he picked, he won with it game one, and then I would win game two, and then I would bid a better amount of chances to win game three, right? So each of the times we played. So I'm curious how that colored his opinion, just him being less of a competitive player and having a lot less experience. Not that I'm great or anything at adaptive, but a lot less experience there. If he'll still be like, yeah, let's do that again, or he's like, that was fun to try, but let's do something else. So be interesting to see.
Do you find that your organization method works for you, and is it easy to be able to locate decks when you're trying to pull them out for a SAS cap event or different types of events?
In general, I pretty much know which of those groupings it's in. Now I started this with Worlds Collide. So
Now,
Worlds Collide,
I just had a
MM,
thought.
and DT are all like this.
I just had a thought. I'm sitting here.
Good.
And Drazkor is he's a computer. What is your official title? You are a. I know you deal with computers, so I was going to say computer engineer, but I don't know what your official title.
Well, I mean, I started as a software engineer, and then they're like, we got to take the keyboard away from this guy, so put me in management. You know how it is.
Now you're managing other software engineers.
Yes.
So something tells me that Drazkor runs a pretty tight ship. Don't know why. Just the feeling I get.
Okay.
So something tells me not only are they in there by SAS, they might also be alphabetized.
Nope.
They're not alphabetized?
So, all right. So here's actually what I do. There's these sections, right? And I actually use, those cards you get as prizes, like the chain trackers and junk like that, right? The little card chain trackers. I have those as dividers. And so I have goals to play decks a certain number of times, right? And 10 times, which is a tall goal. But when I actually play a deck 10 times, I take it, it's still within the section, but I take it from in front of that divider and I move it to behind that divider to indicate I've played this deck 10 times. And if I'm just going to grab a random deck, I'm not going to grab one of the ones that I've already played 10 times, because there's plenty of other decks that I have not played 10 times. So within that, there's no ordering within that configuration otherwise.
The absolute heresy here that I'm...
You can play the same deck 10 times. Like it's permitted?
It's allowed. They allow this.
Is it?
Yeah.
Now,
who's they?
Yeah, it doesn't just
I'm talking the
combust
organizational
on,
manner.
like,
Let's be
the
very
fifth
honest
play.
about this.
So mine go open box, scan deck, take deck from Master Vault to deck of Keyforge and go, and then go back in box. Or typically, every now and again you find that one, you're like, oh, I'll try this one.
Okay, Sheep, how are your decks organized?
Still, well, most of them are set alphabetical.
On his desk. That's how they're
No, it's set alphabetical. Everybody else's decks is just by name, alphabetical by the player's name.
Yeah.
And then the stuff I've opened recently is just in a box. It's in an X-ray box. It's literally just a box with decks thrown in it. No organization whatsoever. French AOA has its own box of hell that is not sorted anyway and is not added to my collection after I play it. So I play a French AOA deck in one of our sealed events or any of our Archons Corners events or Locacars events, I play it at the end of the night unless it actually had something that really caught my attention. It just goes immediately into the French AOA box, which once I've opened all my French AOA will get sealed up and shipped to somebody to have a bunch of free French AOA decks.
Mm. Have you found anything in your French AOA extravaganza?
I've kept 2 or 3, but I have a love for Otanus.
So my next question then, if I may, this is the Dr. Sheep press conference. My next question would be then, so out of how many French AOA boxes did you buy? And how many are you holding on to?
I bought 12. I'm holding on to
12
0 of them.
boxes, cases,
Yeah, so 144
pallets?
decks.
Okay.
I'm holding on to none of them.
I thought you said you were holding on to 2.
Oh, I mean, like
2 decks.
Yeah,
yeah,
Decks
like
out of
I've
the
kept
12
like
boxes.
2 out of. Well, I've only opened like half of them so far.
So
I
thus
still have, like,
far,
6
6 times
boxes of-
12 is what? 72,
72.
right?
Yep, and 2 of them have even
So
itched
2 for
my
72
interest.
out of AOA that have piqued his interest. Not
Yes.
necessarily even good, just piqued
Yeah,
his
but-
interest.
But most
he's
of them
looking at
have
top
been
tier.
played. So yeah,
Right.
like how many more middle of the road AOA decks do I need?
I mean, to be fair,
Right.
I've played quite a number of them.
Yeah, well, this is true. I have not played them all. Some of them go to Wookiee, and he plays them too. And, then I
suck
throw
with
them in the box of shame.
Yes.
Mhm.
Where they belong. In the box of shame.
Yes.
Because that's where AOA is.
So, like, all these decks, I open them, and I don't keep anything. Like, I get Mavericks, I get Legacies. In the box of shame they go.
Let's talk about it, right? Because we had
I'm
a
pretty
discussion.
sure, actually, I opened a Time Traveler, and it's sitting over there in the box of shame because it was like a 60 SAS Time Traveler deck, and I'm like, whoop-de-doo. In the Coda days, early Coda days, you open a Time Traveler deck, it was $20. Right? It didn't
golden.
matter if it was any good. It's $20, right? Minimum. Now, they're like anything else. Pick them up for $1 in bulk because
Right.
plenty of Time Travelers have been opened. Like, the chase on that stuff doesn't exist. Like, all the shards decks just go in there. Blah. And I just have a soft spot for Otanu, so I keep that one.
I find it funny. We had a little conversation in the Discord today. If you're not in the Discord, you can find a Discord invite down in the links down below about the quote unquote the chase cards. And we came up, who is this? Creative Chaos came up with some very interesting chase cards that I don't know if necessarily if I would call any of the. I mean, at the time, they were maybe chases, but now have sunk to a new low, right? Like the Master of
new
X's.
low.
Well, Master of X's.
Now, you know what? I think if I opened a Master of X deck, it might go into my box.
I mean, the only one I would really want is a Master of 3.
Well, Master of 1 is totally functional.
Master of 1 is fine too, but Master's 3 is probably the most versatile.
Master of 2 is better now than it was then. I wouldn't want any of those because I think they're worth a darn. I think I want them because I don't own them.
You don't
At
own
all.
any Master of.
I'm
Number
sure I
decks?
own that.
I'm sure. So everybody
There's a
went
tool
out.
called Decks of Keyforge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it will tell me if I own things.
Yep.
While Sheep is looking, the reason I ask, and I know I sidetracked us, for me, I have a box. It's 4 or 5 divider box that is for each set. Each set is then alphabetized.
Jesus.
However,
You guys are crazy.
and so for me, I have everything that's in there, good, bad, in the middle. And it's very easy for me to be able to locate a deck at any point in time. But when I'm looking, I have also 12 boxes of French AOA and some French Worlds Collide that was in there. And so that bothers me because I haven't opened it. I'm actually really bad about opening product when it comes to me.
You know what kind of decks we need? We need some Italian decks.
I have at least one
There's
of each master, so everything's okay.
Oh, okay.
I do not
All
own a
is good?
Master of 2.
So that they may all end up in the trash box.
Probably.
all 3 of these or all 5 of these decks I own should also be in the trash box, but that's besides the point.
So obviously
Or the,
everybody
could
bought
be somebody else's decks box.
everybody bought a bunch of MM and Worlds Collide.
Mm-hmm.
What is there anything you guys are searching for in those boxes?
Can I will admit to my criminal intents here.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Okay.
I bought a small amount on the beginning of the sale. I bought 4 boxes of each set. It's like, that's enough. I'm gonna waste $100. I'll open $100 for the decks, and if I get nothing, I don't care. Like, those are my candy decks. Like, I get to open them, and it's just like candy. I'm gonna enjoy it real fast, and then the high's gone, and they're done in my life. Right? Maybe one deck gets looked at
Does
again.
something?
Yep. But then, as the week went on, and at the end, when we were watching the counts, it got down to like under 1,000 available decks, and I bought some more.
Are
And
those the
those
ones you're
are-
going to savor?
No, those are the ones that are in the basement
Oh,
that are put away where I can't touch them. And if this game makes it, those are the ones that are going to pay for everything else I've had.
okay.
That's mine. I mean, like, so I got 300 of them. Well, I only kept 2 cases. I got 2 cases, so 240 decks down there, 12 boxes, whatever it is, right? And so what? I got $240 into it, and if those boxes go back to selling for even $100 a piece, that covers a lot of Keyforge expenses I've had. And if it's not, it was another $200 that was wasted either way, right? Like, so I'm just gonna sit them. They're just gonna sit there, and I'm gonna deny everybody else the opportunity to open them until I feel like they're either going to be worth enough that I sell them, or it's clear that the game is not going to be worth anything.
Or he
ever
has
again.
that itch.
And then we will, well, if Decks of Keyforge is still alive at the ultimate death of this game, I would open them all and scan them just to see if you got the monster. And if Decks of Keyforge was down by that time, I would literally blow them up before even opening them.
You would blow. What do you mean blow them
Blow
up?
them up. What's
Yeah,
that?
no,
Shoot 'em, play with fireworks, whatever. And
Oh,
just
whatever.
destroy them out of anger and spite.
Wow.
I think
Wow.
that
That's
you're
gonna
gonna
be
I
like-
think you're gonna be the Gen Con person where they take the old defunct games and they'll sell the booster box.
No, that's my point. Is if it gets to the point where, I mean, like, if I can sell these boxes later down the line for $20 a piece because the game's dead, like, it's not really worth my work.
No, it's
It'll be
enjoy,
more fun
play,
to do
have
something
fun.
else. Like I said, they either sell for it's. I don't sell my stock until it's gone up tenfold, or I don't sell at all.
Can
That's
we
it. Or it's junk stock, right? That's what it is.
can we start an over under on how long he'll be able to sit on them for?
Maybe we should
I mean-
start a digital coin that is linked back to the boxes in my basement.
Oh. That
Called
now,
Space Dollars.
now,
Space dollars.
Forge coins.
Yes.
Forge coins.
I want it. No, you've coined it. It's space dollars.
Yeah.
I'm still trying to make space dollars. It's harder than you think.
Yeah, well, so I found a place that would make them, but they won't do them in anything less than
500.
10,000.
3/4 of an inch in size, and I'm like, that's too big.
Yeah,
Space
that is
dollars
quite
ain't
big.
that big.
No, I mean, but you do only need like 7 of them.
Yeah, but space dollars aren't that big.
No, they're not. Yeah,
Not
that's
in my mind.
that's been my problem is the people who are willing to make them in a certain amount, the amount that I am willing to spend money on, they're too big. Or your other option is they want you to make 500 of them.
If I was willing to have them one-sided, it would not be that hard. But being that I want them like actual two-sided coin, it's a lot harder.
Right. That's been the issue.
Yeah, and it's either, yes, you got to order so many, or the one place where the order quantity and price I found was in my realm of acceptability. Like, they can't do less than 3/4, and I don't want to spend that much time looking.
So
You know what you should do? You should get one of those, like, those metal roller pins you put in those goofball machines at rest stops in the highways that you, like, put a new
Mhm.
image on your pennies.
And just
And then-
smash a bunch of pennies.
Yeah, and just churn a bunch out.
Well,
It's like
I could just make burger tokens that have Space Dollar on them.
You could.
That is
You
also
could.
true.
Mhm.
Wait, does burger
But we're-
tokens have custom tokens where you can like make your own?
I'm sure somewhere you can get custom puffy stickers.
Yeah, stickers. Yeah.
Oh, I'm gonna have to Google that.
Cloggin is listing, and you know he has all the hookup.
Yeah, I'm sure he's got somewhere.
He loves
that's like,
this
yeah,
kind
you
of
could
stuff.
you could make custom puffy stickers. Here's a website.
Yep,
Yep.
he knows a guy.
But so okay, so did everybody get their worlds collide and mass mutation?
Yep.
Yeah,
None
so-
of us are on the pending list.
I've
Oh,
got
jeez.
all 3 boxes here.
Okay.
All 3 orders
Ewok,
have arrived.
you got all yours?
Yeah, I got my shipment on Monday. I will tell you that I still have yet to open any of them up. That's just
Perfect.
life, and I'm okay with that. I did not come back in when the option was there. Even with Gamer Nerds going ahead and opening up Sunday and then Monday, I actually saw Gamer Nerds on Monday. It was very live, and I almost pulled the trigger there, and I'm like, we're going to leave it for someone else. And someone else did take those because all of those decks are
And
gone.
his name was
Yeah,
Sheep.
they did. No, I did not buy
No.
any Gamer Nerds deck.
All right,
They
so his
didn't-
name was
They didn't
X-Ray.
have that many. Nope. X-Ray didn't buy any either that I'm aware of.
No?
Actually, my one buddy I was mentioning before, who's much more casual, he could not struggle through the Asmodee. He's like, "This is not worth my time." But Gamer Nerds website was faster. I texted
Yep.
him in the morning, and he's like, "Yeah, I got." He's like, "The MM was out, but he got a bunch of Worlds Collide."
Glide.
So
Nice,
yeah,
right on.
he's gonna be happy.
Sheep, you're on the pending list, so you got none of your orders.
No, I got all my stuff showed up.
Oh, okay.
I'm not on the pending list.
Have you cracked them already?
Just my sugar boxes.
Just your sugar boxes. Okay.
Yes.
Well, I guess we'll start with you.
I
then.
have many more boxes sitting. Problem is I actually so I have all of those cheap boxes, but
Yeah.
I also have
Sheep actually rolls his deck out on his bed at night and just actually like rolls around in them,
it is my
like
bet now.
like Scrooge McDuck and his coins. He just
No, I
swims
have-
in them.
A lot of expensive boxes.
You have what?
Expensive boxes
he
because
has
I
boxes
had a stock
in
of MM and Worlds Collide for running
Oh,
events
that's
already.
right. That's right.
So I have 5 MM boxes that I paid $70 a piece for,
Mm.
right? And what are those worth now? Like, I can continue nickeling and diming them out to the people who are playing an event because they'll pay $8 because it comes with an event. But like, nobody's gonna buy boxes from me for $80 a
Wow.
piece now for quite a while.
Not until the
Yeah.
game comes back.
And if the game comes back, the fact that all the MM just got sold and busted means if you want, it's a lame investment thing.
For now.
It's a game. Don't invest in it. Play and have fun.
I mean, hey, but at some time those worlds collide and mass mutations could be like the Black Lotus decks. You never know. That might be high hopes,
actually,
but-
if something is valuable sealed, it'll be that first edition print run Coda.
MM will retain value unless they make
That's
another silly pip
Yeah.
set.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, or they do something that's better. Which
so
they could.
you're talking a bit about what are you hoping for with Worlds Collide
Right.
in MM. So
Dan, I wanted to start with Dan because he's opened all his.
well, but before what do you want to look for? I guess would be the first
Yeah.
question. Before we even
That's
get
what
to
I
any-
that's what I was asking for Dan. Like, what were his hopes for? Because like I see on like Creative Chaos's list, like he's looking. I don't know. Maybe this wasn't what he was looking for, but he was considering these kind of chases. So anomalies, brews, leaders, Igons, Banes, Dexus, Sinestra. I always have a problem with that one. Hidden Vellum, the multiples. Oh, excuse me. Chain Gang,
Well, these
Chains,
are-
Chains, more
These are some of the
More wolves.
specials, right?
Yeah.
Plants,
Which
Blasters.
are, yeah. Which I guess if that's your thing, then cool, right? Like you can definitely open some decks with those things. And
You're right. None of these seem like too difficult to get, though. Like, if I were to buy a bunch, I would be looking for some really good, what was her name? I'm drawing a total blank on her name now. The one that lets you
Val
use the Ember.
Jericho,
Val Jericho would be one.
Yeah.
Some good Val Jericho
double
decks.
Val. That's what I want.
Senator
Senator
Baracus.
Shrix.
Baracus.
I'll take
Baracus.
both.
I'll take both.
But that's not a leader.
No,
Sure.
but these are the
No.
more powerful
So,
cards in the set.
In the truth, like when you look at that list that you just went over, and I open a Worlds Collide deck, I am not excited to see most
of those cards.
A couple of the leaders are good.
Yes.
A couple of the blasters are okay.
Yeah, Kirby's Blaster, because it comes with Kirby.
Yes, and Kirby's Blaster has good ability. The other one,
True.
King Can, and King Can's Blaster is good. The rest of them are fine, but I'd rather just have a stunner,
Mhm.
Yep.
I think.
Yeah.
Honestly, on the list, all that I'm super pumped, and this is why I'd love to see it come back, is anomalies. They're
Yes.
they're
Jason, of
such
course-
a rare component, and they're fun.
My 4 boxes, I think I opened, I got 1 Nizak.
Mm.
Oh no, I think I got an orb too. Maybe not.
You know what's
But
funny? I bought a lot of
nothing that got
Worlds
me
Collide.
interested.
I bought a
I'm
lot
still
of Worlds
missing-
Collide. I got a lot of, what was it? Was it French Worlds Collide? Italian Worlds Collide? I can't remember what it was, which foreign language it is. You know, I'd be
French.
more pumped for, like, was it French? I'd be almost more pumped for, like, overseas decks. I think that would be a fun, like, collector's piece to be like, I have
So
decks
different
from,
languages.
yeah, I have decks in different languages.
Mm.
Like that.
Mhm.
That would be fun for me, you know, or something like that. Because I mean, anomalies, yes, you have your what? You have your handful of anomalies you're really looking for, like Nizak, probably not so much. But like Ghost Form, yes. I'm trying to remember what I wanted to. I almost said Time Walk, but that's a magic card.
Lateral Shift.
Lateral
Yeah.
Shift. Thank you. That was the one.
I don't
was
own that
assuming with it.
one. I would like to. That'd be nice. I don't own Lateral Shift, and I don't own the Red Baron. So
See, but I think that they offer something unique and fun. I am still looking, and I like doubles. So I have a double anomaly deck with Infomancer and Grim Reaper.
Mm.
And even though it's 59 sass, it's just a ton of fun to play.
Besides my
so-
playmat, I don't know if I've ever seen a Grim Reaper.
But like that's what I'm saying is I think that some of these, when they show up in multiples or when you have some odd combinations, I don't care about the sass in that regard. Whereas too many others decks, you were talking about, like, I just want to be able to pull a high sass. So there's kind of a joke that was on the boards or the forum earlier. But there's a lot of really unique, interesting decks that can actually get some play when you start to bring in anomalies or
Sure,
some other
but
areas.
beyond that, like, what are you collecting? You know, that's what I've said. This game is always like kind of. It's not an awesome, like, oh, I want to collect this. Like, I wanted to collect my Maverick Narps.
Yep.
You know, well, I have them. You know, I have all the Maverick Narps. Now what?
Cool.
Like, I haven't found like I haven't found that next thing. I know
Bonesaw.
Bonesaw, Maverick Bonesaws.
Maverick Bonesaw.
Yeah,
Gotta
I
be
do like
ready.
Bonesaw.
Well,
He's-
So I know a couple individuals who will go ahead and try and collect one of each card. So they
what are
have
you
basically a
collecting in
set.
other games?
Yeah.
Like my kid and I are getting some Pokemon cards. And outside of you put the V's in a binder because your kid likes to show them off. They all
Right.
suck, so who cares about them? Like, I'm not collecting them. You just get them. So you're like, whoop-de-doo.
See, I like some unique playstyles. So the anomalies, double anomalies that's there. When I'm looking at the list for Worlds Collide, while I have Chain Gang and Chains, I would love to see a double Chain Gang deck. Like, that would be fun for me. I only have, out of all of my Worlds Collide, I only have one Moorwolf deck, and it's bad with four Moorwolves.
You ain't missing much.
No, I'm not. But, you know, if you're talking, hey, what do I actually care about? I'd like to have a deck. I'd like to see a double Chain Gang deck. I'd like to be able to go ahead and see a Moorwolf deck that's just fun to be able to play.
Because like it seems like all these, because a lot of his chase cards were like the 4 horsemen he put in Coda, 4 horsemen.
Yeah.
You know, it was that chase thing that was like, oh, we can collect it. I remember,
Yeah,
man.
back
I
in the
remember
day.
some of the first
Yeah.
4 horsemen decks were going for what, $1,000 or something crazy like that.
Yep.
The double.
the days.
Yeah. I mean, I sold my double 4 horseman deck for like $350. That was way back in Coda.
Nice.
And then everybody wanted like the routine jobs. Fagin
Those were
became
actually
rich. He has Niffle Queen and Niffle Apes. I don't know who was ever looking for those, or the bears and the bear flutes.
They're grouped together.
So
It took
early
me a long
on,
time to land a Bear Flute deck.
Yeah, I got a triple bear flute. Well, single bear flute, triple bear, and a deck, and I was like super excited about it. And it, not very good.
No, they typically are. Well,
You don't.
it always
I
seems
still
like
do not own a bear flute deck.
Like you
don't.
don't.
Nope.
Really?
It's weird because like with a bear flute with one ancient bear feels lame because you hardly ever get because you're only pulling one card. So it's like, well, I might as well have just drawn the ancient bear, right? But then the deck I have with 3 of them, there's that weird stipulation that if there's any in play, you heal them. Otherwise, you draw them. So it's like, well, then normally what happens is I do nothing because like I have an undamaged ancient bear. Or maybe I heal him, and then that's lame. So like, rarely ever am I like, I'm putting this bear flute in play. I'm activating. I'm drawing 3 ancient bears, and I put them into play. I guess there's a double hunting witch in this deck and a full moon. So like, in theory, it could be real cool. I just don't ever remember it being real cool.
Well, they always seem to miss the mark when it comes to those like shards. We all remember shards. They never panned out. I remember everybody getting real hype for shards are going to be good, and then
They never went real high either.
Well, because they're not real good.
Sins
Yeah.
sold higher than they should have early on.
I
I know, because I sold some.
know.
Yep. They can be
now,
real good.
Now I have a slight bit of guilt, but it's not like I forced them upon people. People came looking to me to get them, so I said, okay.
So I'll pose the question back because we're kind of veering off the road here. So what? I'm sorry, Ewok. What are you hoping for? Is there anything you're looking for? You bought a little bit of both, right?
Yeah, I bought a little bit of both. For Worlds Collide, it's going to be anomalies, and I'm going to move over to MM. Honestly, I want to see a good Dav deck. I have so much fun. I have a double Dark Harbinger deck, so I'd really enjoy to see that or something fun. Doubling up on the Gigantics, I have a double Gigantic deck. That would be fun. But the easiest one, honestly, is pulling lots of pips and just seeing where the pips land. And I think that they really hit that out of the park. Like, I love searching for anomalies, but they're pretty rare. MM, you can throw those pips out and it drastically changes the game. So I would love to have a deck that just has a whole bunch of pips, or alternatively, has those pips on some creatures or things that I can go ahead and recur. I just saw wasn't Rad Petty. Trying to think of logos. Yeah, the Q-Mech that has the double draw pip.
Nice.
So
nice.
yeah,
Cool.
so when you start to see some of those cards, they're just a lot of fun. That's what I would love to be able to see, is either a really high pip deck and just see where they all land. I know, Sheep, you had talked about getting your first 5 pipped card. I still have yet to pull a 5 pip card. In fact, I don't even think I've pulled a single 3 pipped card. So they just haven't stacked up for me.
So
but
that's one of those things, is I wonder if I do have a 5 pip card in a crap deck.
They just never even,
because
It's just never been opened.
If the deck isn't good enough, I'm not gonna break it out of shrink. I do kind of look like it's one of those things I asked for on decks at Keyforge was basically a count of free pips.
Mm-hmm.
How many more pips than cards are there?
Right.
Because that can significantly change the value of a deck if the right card is multi-pip.
Totally.
Actual play value, not just monetary value. Although it could do that too.
Yep. I did. So I've got a finishing blow with 2 damage pips. That was fun. It was a cool thing I opened. I opened a cleansing wave with a damage pip. That was fun. Yep. A Q-Mech with a capture. That was fun. Nothing like outrageously outrageous yet, but some fun ones.
I was just about to say, Sheep, the sleeves are on sale. They're 60 cents if you want.
I still have some of them from Keyforge Live.
Sleeves?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I didn't know there was. I didn't know what y'all. I don't know what's in your basement.
Oh God. There are 13
Next on Archon's
Deluxe
Corner, we inventory Sheep's Basement.
Worlds Collide decks available right now for $1.50. Yeah, in case you wanted some.
Does Worlds
You know what
Collide
I
feel
want?
flat
Yes.
with MM?
God, opening Worlds Collide, those Worlds Collide boxes were just, if you don't get an anomaly, they're kind of depressing to open. Now,
Oh, no.
the smoking deck got opened. I played against it, and it crushed my face. It was really good. Like, you can get really good decks, but boy, I was opening them like I was getting just sad opening Worlds Collide decks. It's just like, well, yeah, you get Brobnar and you immediately go, well, unless it's Dave's deck with logos, you might as well just throw this thing away. It was just sad.
I mean, I think that you're looking for Star Alliance and Saurian when you're opening Worlds Collide, and without it, you're quite a bit sad. I will tell you, one of the
logos and Dis are both totally fine.
100%, but I still place them in a second tier. And they're not a drastic far second tier, but they are a second tier, and I think logos goes ahead and really helps the Saurian and the Star Alliance. From what I have seen, I will also argue that one of the boxes of French Worlds Collide that I was able to grab a while ago had 10 out of the 12 decks was Brobnar, and that was sad and depressing. But you just try and look for what's interesting in it, or you move on and all right, play your 10 games as Draskor has and enjoy it. I think those are great for sealed. So I've been playing all of the French AOA is sealed MM2, and I'm
That's
excited
because
to
you can read it on TCO.
Correct, but that's how I can get those decks to be played versus just opening it, going, oh, this is the stat, and throwing it.
You know, I don't know if we've ever talked about this. Maybe we did in a chat. Maybe we did on a previous episode. Is sealed just the best?
Yes.
You mean Keyforge as intended?
I mean, I wasn't gonna go that far, but I mean, God, sealed to me. Now we play sealed on Tuesdays, and I'll tell you what. No matter what I'm doing, you know, I've played a lot of junk AOA. Ask Sheep played a lot of junk AOA. So is he. And I have more fun playing junk AOA and sealed than I do any Archon event ever. Like, Archon totally at this point in stage in the game, I feel totally turned off by Archon or even adaptive. Like, just completely and utterly turned off by them. If it ain't sealed, I mean, Dan, how many times do we play sealed in Chainbound on Sundays?
Every week.
I mean, you know what I mean? It's just,
so
I don't know.
I hear this. The only issue that I have is I find that 3-deck sealed can lead to some grouping issues a little bit. I actually prefer a single deck sealed versus 3-deck sealed.
I wonder what the variation is like between good and bad decks. You know what I mean? Does that make sense?
Depends on the set.
Right, but I'm saying, like, how many times, you know, if you do, how many times you play sealed, do you get like, okay, I get a good deck, versus how many times you just get a junk deck.
Lokakar threw that on earlier today into the chat with his Pink Bunny Games Wednesday, what the SAS level of the deck was and its win percentage being above or below. And I know it was a real quick image that was thrown up, but I did find that interesting. Kind of surprising to see what was consistently winning and what you'd be looking for. And the sealed environment is a different environment. You're looking for some different stats versus straight Archon.
Yep.
Absolutely.
A crappy big Brobnar house can win games because I just did it yesterday with a 58 SAS AOA deck.
But not only that, like the unknown, right?
Yes, it's strange.
The unknown. Like, I can't look at your deck list. I don't get 2 minutes to look at it. I kind of just have to. I don't know. Maybe it brings out the gambler in me. It's like spin the wheel and see what happens.
There are so many decks that have cool tricks in them. And like Mavericks are cool.
Yep.
And sealed. When it's like or legacies. Like, you didn't see that one coming, did you? But in standard play, you're just like, oh, look what you have. And it loses something.
I feel like Archons kind of got stale, because, like, once Archon is Archon, we know what's good and bad, right? And if you can see the tricks and identify the tricks, like, you can play around the tricks. You can do a lot of different things. But in Sealed, you can't really do that. There's just not, you don't have the possibility. Like, I don't know if you have a TMTP in your deck.
But you can play to the odds, which is what makes good Sealed.
I can play to the odds. But, like, I could also be like, you know what? I'm going for it. I don't know if it's in there. I know you have shadows. And sometimes it's fun to just be like, if you got it, you got it. If you don't, you don't. And you kind of you move forward.
You mean Sheep here going ahead and busting to 10, 11, 12?
16.
16 when I'm sitting with double TMTP, but I can't draw either of them.
And that's when I knew he had them.
That sounds like that sounds like a unfortunate circumstance.
That's all gas pedal all the time.
That's right.
So here's my question. We talk about Sealed. We like Sealed. What if there was a variant, a format, where you were able to pick one of the three houses and you could see just that house, but the other two are blank?
Like, you mean, like, if I were to play, like, Sealed play, but, like, I could be like, I want to see your logos house.
It's a quasi Sealed. So,
what's the point of this? So, like, I can see if you have a TMTP.
You get to pick one of the houses, and I'm trying to.
So, is that then a format where you're like, okay, I'm gonna bring my Brobnar Logos disc deck, and the Brobnar is gonna be the loaded end because nobody's ever gonna ask to see that.
I'm trying to see what we can do with some of these.
I would almost like a format that's Archon, but you are not allowed. You hide deck lists. You're not allowed to look at my deck list.
Then, how's that Archon?
Well, because you're still bringing a deck. You're still selecting a deck. You're still bringing a deck of your choice, but you can't see what it has.
Arc blind.
What
I mean, the quasi version of this that I'll do, or especially if, like, what I mentioned at the beginning of the cast, just about grabbing decks out of a certain section. Like, I will sometimes play online with folks either in the Discord or maybe one of my casual friends and just be like, hey, what SAS are you bringing? And they're like, my deck is a 63. And I'll just search on my 63s and I'll be like, which one doesn't have very many plays? Regardless, I don't even really look what's in the deck. I'm like, okay, this one I've only played once. I'm playing it. And then that's like quasi-sealed. It's like a way to
here's the deal. I've told, and it's no secret, that in regular Archon play, I haven't looked at a deck list since Shadow Worlds. And it's not because I'm a lazy player. I mean, some of it is. Some of it.
Kind of is.
However, I do like the joy of having to go, maybe.
I get
maybe.
that.
You know what I mean? And it makes that, like, excitement more fun. Even if I'm getting, I get my teeth kicked in. It's like, I could have played that better. I should have played to that out. I should have known. You know what I mean? I should have known better. But, it's why everyone plays Wild Wormhole. You spin the wheel and see what happens.
Good players don't play Wild Wormhole.
Good players don't play Wild Wormhole. I never claim to be one because I'm playing that every time.
But fun players do.
I mean, that's just kind of where I'm at with Keyforge right now because it feels at this point so like we kind of I'm just going to say it. There's a lot of people out here who are like, oh, the discovery. There's nothing left to discover, guys. You're not discovering any. There's no magic new combo. No, there's no magic new combo that's all of a sudden going to take the world by storm.
We are now in the Lokacar land of discovery.
Jank.
It's not even jank. It's optimizing crappy cards together.
Or the attempt to optimize crappy cards.
Yes.
Yeah, but isn't that what a gamer does? Whether it's a board game, a card game, you're trying to optimize what is given to you.
I get it. Really, I mean, honestly, it depends. There's that magic word again. Because like, I mean, if you're with somebody looking to win, I don't think you're trying to optimize crap cards. You're taking what you know is already good and just trying to find the most of those in one deck in an attempt to win.
Do you find that we still have our events. So we have our Sunday. A lot of people are still playing sealed, even though it's Archon. Tuesday is sealed. Wednesday is sealed. Thursday, by the way, is returning. We had some friends, 6 of you last week, who showed up for Who's a What's It Thursday as we record, and basically it's doing dailies again. So this week is play your first deck. Do you feel that
my first deck?
Yeah, that's what the step.
Oh my! How would I even find that? I guess I have to go to Master Vault.
The first deck you scanned in the Master Vault.
Wait, time out. You don't remember your first deck?
I couldn't tell you what my first deck was.
Okay.
JR, at this point in my life, I've had so many decks, I can't. I
totally forgot I have a deck called Turbo Muffin. But
I mean, that's pretty good.
Do you remember the first person that you were intimate with?
Me?
I'm just asking because
I have disappointed so many decks that I just tried for
Because, I mean, here's the deal. I remember at the time when I first got into Keyforge, my first 10 or so decks, I was buying already pre-cracked. Because you couldn't find any, and I just wanted to play. I remember that. I don't know if anybody remember those days where you could not find Keyforge.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yep, I remember that.
And you basically, like, your option, like, at least at our local game store, he had a bunch of, like, just decks that were pre-cracked, and I guess he wanted the shards off of them or something, so he'd, like, take the shard and then put them out for, like, half price, but you still couldn't find decks.
Joke's on all of us for believing in that.
Right. So let's see. My first, it was about, I bought like 12 decks at a couple bucks a pop. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Hold on. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay. It's a deck called Sandsmidsburg's Viking. It has Brobnar, Logos, and Sanctum. Oh, God, this would be horrible.
I remember... So I had pre-ordered a box before it came out and ended up apparently giving that box back to the store because he was giving it out to just local people coming in, hoping to enjoy the game, learn. And I took a starter instead, and I had that as part of the pre-order as well.
I'm going to put this in the chat.
I still remember both of the decks, so it's just really interesting.
You guys can look at it in the chat. It's pretty god-awful. Yeah, that's pretty bad. So check that out as I scroll through the chat. Why does Joker have a recliner in front of his computer? That's interesting.
Because he has increased his chill.
Yeah.
What are you talking about? This deck's double Crump, double Bat Drone.
Because Bat Drone's making it.
stuff.
You remember how good Bat Drone was?
Jay, who the bureaucrat, man? This is pop. And you showed us a time traveler deck.
Oh, definitely
It is a time traveler deck. It is a time traveler.
Yeah, no complaining. I mean, now, like when we were doing AC dailies, we did this format.
Did we?
That's actually the first time I showed up for an AC daily, and I crushed everybody because my first deck's a triple Hunting Witch, double Witch of the Eye thing.
This deck is a 61 right now.
Yep.
I actually just played my first deck the other day against you, Sheep, right? Like,
yep, you sure did.
Came up. Yeah, that was a good deck. It's a Horseman Fagin deck. It's fun.
I'd actually be interested in playing that format. Play your first deck.
Well, they're planning to do it next week now.
Oh, okay. Well, maybe I will pull a Dr. Sheep next week, and while recording, also play.
Well, your ability at Keyforge won't get any worse.
I mean, hey, didn't I go 3-1 this week?
What do you expect? I give you all the power of AOA.
I didn't play AOA. I ended up playing Dark Tidings.
Well,
that's right.
The other bottom feeder.
A DT sealed? Where it's at?
I don't even remember what it was. I gotta look. It was. I don't think it.
Triple Lieutenant
Yeah, no,
Volmar? That's
Yeah.
rough.
Oh yeah, I remember that. He kept stopping me.
Yeah, I don't know if that necessarily does much. I don't remember what
mean,
the SAS was. I thought it
my
was going to
deck
be
only had-
higher because it had so much, like, I could Volmart bounce, but yeah, it was only a 60 SAS deck. Only a 60 SAS deck.
I
my
will
deck
tell
with
you,
11 expected did not really handle that very well.
and I will say that my creature control of 1.9 also did not deal with that. So,
Yeah. My creature
that's
controls a
what-
1.8 in this deck.
but that's where sealed can, be unique and allow you some fun of, okay, how can you play around this? What's your outs? What are you going to try for?
I mean, I'm interested in hearing everybody's thoughts. So leave it down in the comment sections down below. As we kind of get ready to wrap this bad boy up. I didn't miss any of the big shout outs, did I? We didn't even make it through half the stuff we said we were going to.
Mm-hmm.
That's because Keyforge is still awesome and provides
Yay.
plenty of things to talk about.
So much
Yay.
fun. Yay for Archon's Corner.
I did get to teach X-Ray who the doctor on our team is today.
They call him the Doctor.
Yeah.
Doctor's
Yeah.
Brainology.
So anyways, come out next week, play your first deck. That's an interesting format. That's made me think a lot about it. But come out, play your first deck next week on the Thursday when we record. Pop in, say hello, listen for a little bit, and then we got Sunday is I screw this up every
Archon.
time. Sunday is Archon. Tuesday is sealed. Wednesday is also sealed.
I am running this week's Wednesday event.
Ooh.
So it's double
Because
sealed.
Loka. Well, yeah, but Lokakar is going on vacation.
Oh, you know what? I'm actually business traveling next week, so I have to see what my situation's going to be next week.
My situation.
Yeah.
But I mean, this is
forever.
I think we can explore a little bit more about see all the different formats, because I think that's actually a topic that I just don't think is talked about a ton that could use a lot of love. Because like I said, the thing about Archon is always what's next, what's best, what's coming up next. But we haven't had a next for when did DT come out? Last August?
Forever ago.
It was a while ago. It was a long time ago. In a galaxy far, far, far away.
I'm going to go to the information source that knows all there is about Keyforge. See what it says.
But that's going to do it for us this week. Guys, what you got for final thoughts, Drazcor?
I'm just opening decks, having a good time looking through them. I'm like I said last time, I'm trying to pace myself. So I voted about a whole bunch, but I still got lots more to do, and I'm just enjoying playing them.
Pace
so,
yourself. There's not much left out there.
Yeah.
Ewok,
true.
what you got?
Dark Tidings was released in Asia in March of 2021 and May 14th in the States.
That's right. It was split because a ship sank, or that was our theory. But
got stuck in the canal.
yeah.
Honestly, I see Winds of Exchange right under it with the announcement, September 10th, 2021. So we are not on this year, but I'm looking forward to it. I do think that the community is absolutely amazing, and it's not as competitive as many other games are. There's some phenomenal players, but I think a lot of people who are sticking around are cracking decks, are having fun with the decks that they're opening. They're looking for something that's entertaining and enjoyable. So if you got lucky and you scored some decks at a good, reasonable price, play them, have fun, introduce others to the game.
You have time. You can play them all.
Oh, but I mean, when you're saying that there isn't anything to explore, I think that there is still a lot to be able. It may not be unique, or maybe it is with Pip's location, but play and have fun with the decks. It doesn't matter what they're.
And then shred them.
Shredder. We need to play more Shredder.
We need to see each other.
Well,
or
that
come
too.
up with different variants. I mean, again, we have the time. So
Every time I come up with new variants, everybody shits on them.
That's because you always want to play
Yeah,
constructed Keyforge.
Yeah, well, we need other people to come up with variants.
Keyforge not as intended.
That's right. So there's a Keyforge as Garfield intended, which, if you ask me, is a little brash. And then there's Keyforge as Garfield didn't intend it, because fuck that guy.
Nagi.
Nagi, not. We'll call it NIT, not intended Keyforge. Yeah.
It's
So
Nick.
Nick, not
Yep.
intended. Oh yeah, it is not intended Keyforge.
I think that being able to try Archon, but hey, you bring a deck and you can't see it's sealed in that manner. I think it'd be
That's
fun.
just how I
I'd like
play
to try it
most
out.
of my games because I'm lazy.
I would
Well,
still
sure,
love a
but-
multiplayer format. That's not co-op. Thank you.
Yeah, because Wookie's got to punch 2 people in the face at once.
Oh,
One
2.
ain't good enough.
3.
3. Oh, we're full on.
I want a commander style.
Get your. I was gonna say get your some ring or cage fight or whatever silly wrestling thing you like.
Oh, are you talking about Universal Pit
I-
Fight? Like,
I
like
don't
Flesh
know
and
anything
Blood
about
has?
that stuff.
oh, yes.
Please,
I mean,
what?
cage
No.
fight. I mean,
Greasy.
I've always kind of termed it as, Keyforge Commander.
Royal Rumble.
Oh, the Royal Rumble? I've tried
Isn't that a thing?
Yeah, well, in Keyforge or wrestling?
King of the Hill.
Fish tacos. Are we just saying words?
Yeah, I think
think
we're
so.
saying words. That's going to do it for us this week, guys. Thanks for everybody for listening again. And we'll see y'all next week.
It goes out the same as 1,000 before. No one's getting smarter, no one's learning to score. Whatever it is, free of death and violence and hate. It's gonna tie your own rope, tie your own rope, tie your own. Hey! And it's talking back to me. Drinking brown.
Gotta keep them separated.